Okay, hello everyone. We're back. This is Dave, President and CEO of TEFLPros. How are you all doing today? Hope you're well out there. If you're listening to us on the YouTube channel, hello. Hope you're doing okay. To those of you who are currently in our meeting right now, I hope you guys are doing this all right as well. This is our, you might have noticed, I said there's a few lapsed weeks from our Friday forum. The last 2 Fridays, I was not in Prague, in and around Prague. I was out 2 weeks ago. I was out. One of my clients, his band was playing on the other side of the country and invited me out for the weekend to see him play. Awesome show. And then this last weekend, myself and my family, my wife and my daughter, we went up into the Arctic Circle, into a small town called Tromsø, Norway. Right off in the northern part of Norway. Beautiful. Weird thing was, it was actually colder in the Czech Republic this week than it was in the Arctic Circle. But man, that was an awesome trip. If any of you get a chance or have the ability, I recommend checking out Tromsø. A little pricey, but like an amazing time, a wonderful time. We had, we went on reindeer sled rides and we stayed in huts with the natives while they told us different stories of their history, their culture, things like that. The Northern Lights, beautiful. We saw them twice while we were over there. Have some of my Norwegian friends stop by. Shout out Carl and Randy. It's good seeing you guys and your family. It's wonderful there. Food was divine. Really good food, and I'm always up for a good meal. So I mean, that's what it takes to make me happy. But it was wonderful. It was a great time. But of course, in doing so, I was away for that week. But it's good to be back. It's good to be back in my element. Back here with you guys on a Friday night. Hope you had a great 2 weeks. I hope the winter blues haven't set in. I hope we are making moves to better ourselves, those around us, our community, maybe looking to finally take that TEFL course, take that move. I just got off a call with a young lady who's ready to make that jump. She's the travel bug, I guess, has bitten her, and she's looking to take her TEFL course and make the jump abroad. She was thinking about Czech Republic. She was thinking about different parts of Asia, South America. She was looking at the whole world. It was really cool talking to her and kind of getting her thoughts and insights. A few more people graduated over this last week, so we have now, 4 graduates so far in the new year. That's awesome. I'm so proud of each and every one of you, and I'm excited to get you guys, into the markets, moved around the world to where you want to go. And I should have a few more interviews showing up on the webpage. I also did a podcast this week. So we got another one of those under our belts with me and my buddy David Cantu. So lots of stuff going on, lots of things here and there, but it's the Friday forum. So what's our topic today? Sorry. Keep the whistle wet. I was thinking about what to do today, whether it was talk about English teaching, whether about expatriation, moving business, something like that. My conversation with Dave Cantu is all about AI in the education world. So I think that's a pretty good conversation as far as teaching goes and whatnot. I did have a little bit of a epiphany while we were up in Norway. Like I said, our topics can come from anywhere, whether someone leaves a comment or a question, asks me something, whether I experience something, just whatever, I pull from the ether. But I was standing at our window and I was watching the Norwegian sky just light up green. It was such a weird, but such a cool moment. And, my wife turned to me and said, hey, do you want to go outside and take some more pictures of it? Do you want to, I can call you a taxi. You can go to the cable car and get to the top of the mountain and you can take photos there. And I looked at her and I said, well, if it's all the same to you, I'm very happy right here with you guys experiencing this phenomenon together. And uh, that's not something I think I would have said 10 years ago when I came to Czech Republic. And I think that's a good place to start for today is expectation versus reality of moving to a new culture, things like that. And I'm going to this is going to be a little bit more of an intimate one today. I'm going to pull a lot from my own personal experiences of, maybe expectations coming into it, finishing your TEFL course, looking for work, moving to another country, and the reality of it, and maybe some parts that are some separations that the two may have. So, when you think about moving abroad, a lot of times you think about the things you're going to do, right? When I came here, I thought I'd be like, traversing mountains and going to epic European metal festivals and, good food, good wine, good stuff like that, which all have happened. However, it's a lot of the things that I didn't expect that really created the experience over here and made it the renaissance that it was. This is, of course, I have a lot of experience of this with my visa agency. When people move to the Czech Republic, we get to kind of experience what they are going through vicariously. They like to share stories of what they've done, what they've seen so far, little towns they've been to, festivals, music, food, all that fun stuff. Of course, there is a certain expectation of that. When you move abroad, you say, all right, I generally expect that I'm going to see some quaint European towns. I'm going to, ride trains around, take cheap overbooked flights to various Mediterranean islands. I'm going to, go to the Alps. I'm going to go to Hallstatt, Austria, and get that one picture that everyone gets. I'm guilty of it too. I got that picture in Hallstatt. I even had my Pittsburgh Terrible Towel and the Steelers webpage like featured it for a week or something like that. Well, that's all fine and good. I didn't expect that teaching would become such an ingrained part of my makeup. I thought teaching was kind of a means to an end. The same way maybe you might think about it like, working at a call center or something to pay the bills. All right, I do the work, I pay the bills, but I'm not like, you don't let the idea of answering phones to grumpy people from outside of your state become part of, your design, who you are. And a lot of people feel the same way about teaching. And I think when I started teaching, it was kind of like that. It was kind of, all right, I'm teaching to facilitate my Euro adventure, if you will, because I taught, it was something I was able to do. It paid the bills and it gave me the ability to drink wine and eat baguettes next to, rivers all over Europe. I think when I had a student come up to me and ask me if I can write a university recommendation letter, at that moment I was like, whoa, hold the phone. This isn't a means for me anymore. This is what I do. They just said, hey, I'm trying to better my life. I'm trying to do something huge with my life, and I need you to kind of be a vehicle for that for a brief amount of time. And, no one's ever really asked me anything of that magnitude before, anything of that caliber. And suddenly I was like, it just came to me in a flash that, like, you're doing important things that might be more important than baguettes on the side of the river and, train rides through mountains and valleys and things like that. You are you are elevating other people with what you have, with the skill set that you have. Um, and after that, teaching became, I wanted to become better at it. I wanted to become not just, a better English teacher, but just a more influential teacher. I wanted to have more gravitas in what I did as a whole. I didn't just want to go to school, yak for, 45 minutes at a time and then kind of just buzz off. I felt that there's more I could give, that I was in the right capacity to give. And my lessons started becoming more relevant. I started putting more effort into, my students' output and what I was trying to get them to accomplish. It was no longer a payday. The paydays kind of disappeared from relevance. I paid my bills and I went places. Of course, I had to keep an eye on the bank account, but the idea of thinking how many hours I was teaching and working for what salary, it just started fading away. And and just the idea of being a teacher and being the best teacher I could be really started taking over. And then suddenly you have multiple students asking for um, college recommendation letters. And I've put, over my 10, 11 years teaching, I've put students to universities in Denmark, the Netherlands, Germany, of course, the UK, the USA, Italy, South Korea, and all of them wanted some sort of, letter recommending them, make it, very personalized, about their hopes, dreams, accomplishments. And you kind of get another dimension of the student and what they're trying to accomplish and your role in that, which is something that is very important, because now you are the one giving them the letter that's going to get them into that school. You're the one actually coaching them on what to submit, how it has to look, where to take an exam that will give them an English efficiency certificate that will allow them to study at Trinity or Oxford or Cambridge. I have students in all three, by the way. Um, and, that's something I was not expecting when I came here. I did not expect myself to be, I guess, valued by others to that extent. I would say, like, obviously, I expect to be valued with my information of English, my ability to teach English, but not to the point where you are actually becoming a pillar in, a totem in someone's life and their journey through it. So that was one part, that, you know, the the reality versus the expectation. I did not expect that when I came to the Czech Republic. I came here like most do, and this is not meant to be a statement of ignorance or arrogance. I came here greedy because I came here for reasons that were purely mine. And over time, the longer I was here, the longer I was doing it, it suddenly kind of shifted. And you know, you almost become a servant to your community and those around you, which I have gotten a lot more joy out of, which I have a lot more pride in. than, you know, taking a selfie atop, it's Snezhka, the highest point in the Czech Republic, or taking a Mediterranean cruise or a gondola through Venice, or things like that. The sense of purpose became almost overwhelming over here, which I just fed into and I loved. And it kind of became a almost kind of like my true north. And a lot of times when I was trying to set up businesses and companies and create networks and things like that, all things that I've been doing over the last few years, is this beneficial to the community at large, has always been one of those big, um, is it worth it moments? That's the big question. And that was a question when I started doing visas. That was the question when I started doing staffing. That was the question when I started uh, with TEFLPros, was how can we make it beneficial? How can we become, a, a member of the community that's there to help others? So we had that. That was something I did not expect when I moved to the Czech Republic all those years ago. Um, another big that I didn't expect was, the whole family element. That was definitely not really in the cards. I was planning on living in a different country every year. I got to one country and I've been here for 12 years now. Um, but being able to spend my time with my family over here, my wife, my daughter, that's been probably some of the happiest times I've ever had. Once again, not something you expect, spending holidays with my family, my in-laws over here, being able to bring my family over here, my brother, my parents, things like that. My family, when they came over for my wedding, it was so cool. Being able to experience all these cool things with them, not just it's experiencing them for individualistic purposes, just for me to have. It was a very us kind of thing. And that's also, I think, when you move abroad, you I think that might be the point of assimilation. When you go from being a tourist, um, a visitor, when it starts becoming we, not me. When you move to a new culture, whether it's Czech Republic, whether it's Southeast Asia, whether it's Central South America, doesn't matter where. There is a certain element of that, because we can plan for things, can't we? We can plan to move somewhere, to have an apartment, to eat at specific restaurants, to travel to certain islands, certain countries, experience certain things. And it's just a shopping list of things that you do. And I see a lot of these, and those are tourist things. You're a tourist. That's what you want to do. You're just, if you're moving somewhere for a long time, you're just kind of an extended tourist, aren't you? Um, but once you start assimilating, the tourism starts to fade away a little bit. I've gone to places and I haven't taken a single photo. I've experienced things and just said, this is better for my experience than to make a video or a photo or social media or anything like that. These are all things that I would say are, you don't plan for it. Or things you do plan for are the touristy stuff. But being able to experience these things with my family, definitely outweighs the social media element. Being able to go through what we've put together over here and what our long-term plans are, what our goals are in the Czech Republic for our kids, for our family, things like that. Of course, those are not things that a petulant 28-year-old with a backpack full of stuff was thinking of when he hopped on a plane, going to a country he's never been to before with no friends or language or job or anything like that. These are things you almost can't prepare for, but I think that is what makes them so good. I think that is what makes the experience so much richer and more authentic, is that it is an experience that only you can feel. I mean, the Northern Lights are wonderful. They're inspiring. My jaw was on the floor when I looked out that window and saw the sky turning green in front of me. Like it was like something out of Ghostbusters. But what made it amazing was that, you know, I was there with my family. It was awesome. Being able to see it with them and experience it all together. And obviously I'm not telling you all to get married and have kids when you move abroad. I don't know if that's the right angle to take for this this Friday forum. But I guess one thing we can take from that is you should almost expect the unexpected. And do not weigh your experience based on what you've done or not done, because that's where you plan things. And if you have a plan and those things don't happen, then it's you're going to be dissatisfied. You're going to be upset about it. You're going to say, it should have been like that and not like that. But if you have no plan, you've actually removed dissatisfaction from the equation, because there is no plan, which means that nothing can go wrong because there is nothing. There's only things that happen, good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter, but they're just happenings. And if it could be a wonderful thing, and if it's a bad thing, it's probably going to be a great story down the road. My entire time here was not sunshine and flowers. There are hardships. There are things that if you lived in your own country and spoke your own language and understood your own culture, you would not have to deal with when living abroad. But remember, you're the visiting team. And the rules where you are might be a little bit different. The rules, the culture, it may not make sense. It might be strange, or quote unquote, it might be foreign to you. But that's where you are now. That's your home. And that's going to be, and if your expectation is to experience, Epcot Center in Disney World, if your expectation is something like that, only in a country, it's the disappointment probability is going to be quite high. But if your expectations stop with the plane landing, then you're in for a ride. You're in for a ride that's going to be stressful. You're in for a ride that's going to be enlightening. And you're in for a ride that's going to pull the blinders back from your eyes. You will see the world completely different. You will see people completely different. Your expectation and understanding of what the world is going to go off the charts. You will always be a lot stronger. You will always be, a lot more tenacious, no matter where you go. A lot of people, I think, talk about the American system, where a lot of foreigners, of course, moved to the United States and set up their own businesses and set up their own communities and set up their own elements and flourished. And a big reason for that was the fact that you don't really have a set of rules within a culture you just showed up to. That's why, a lot of Americans will show up here in the Czech Republic and maybe we'll open a restaurant that makes Philly cheesesteaks. And you're like, everyone's what, Or there's one place here in Prague called the Lasagneria. And it is a restaurant that only makes lasagnas, different types of lasagnas, but lasagnas and nothing else. A very American idea. But because you don't have a preset of rules, this mental feudal system in your mind telling you what you can and can't do, you're kind of like a natural disruptor, and can bring things to that society that maybe have not been there before or no one maybe thought to have. And I think that's the beauty of what we can of what we can bring to these new countries, these new cultures. People say, when I would go into my classrooms and I would teach a certain way, they would always say, "Oh, well, you're just teaching like an American." Like, okay, I've never been a teacher in America. you know, I was a truck driver in America, and a slew of other things. But they just write it off as because it's different, it's foreign, and it is the prescription of my, it is from my home country, where I get these weird rules and things like that. When really it's not even that. There's teachers I emulate, and when I began teaching, there was teachers that I more or less imitated, while I was kind of learning my sound as a teacher. But it was just literally me being me in the classroom, me being me, teaching the way I taught, going through my own processes with the students. Of course, it had that school bounce, the homework assignments, the tests, the quizzes, the presentations, all that junk. But it was a way I felt was meaningful and authentic. And that came from really immersing myself into the teaching world, into the mission of the teacher. Didn't expect that. Didn't expect to take the position as far as I did. Or ended up not just with a TEFL certificate, but I took I got certified by the state as well. And I also got certified to give the end of year exams in English. I think I'm walking around with 3 or 4 certifications right now, beyond my TEFL certificate. And, and the experiences, I mean, to be able to have a business abroad, huge, awesome. Never did that. Never had my own business in America. Being able to do that abroad, being able to, have 10 wonderful years as an educator, having an amazing TEFL course and getting to meet some of the coolest people from all around the world, and being able to put them into this network and helping them be able to move abroad, having these Friday forums. I love it. These Friday forums are like therapy for me. I really enjoy these. I enjoy the interactions. I don't even really go out too often in Prague anymore. It's, I'm not really a barhead. I don't really, go pacing down the streets to events and things like that. I'm best served here with my family, my businesses, my wonderful home, my beautiful little village, like all things that wouldn't even have pinged on the radar when I was flying over here. And as an expat, as someone who's going to move to a new culture yourself, you probably have a preconceived notion of what you're going to do, what you're going to see, what you're going to experience. And I hope you get to experience all those things, and definitely keep them on your list. Definitely do them. Going to the Arctic Circle and seeing the Northern Lights was way up there on the bucket list. And I said it took an amazing wife and an amazing mom to make that happen. But also expect the unexpected and be open to it. Be ready for, challenges. Be ready for experiences that you weren't expecting. And kind of take them for what they are. Appreciate them for what they are. And those are going to be the most enriching moments. Those are going to be those moments that will define you. That will show, your character and who you are and your interaction with your community, with your school, with your students, with your friends, with your family, all these things. That's one really cool part about the expat experience, moving abroad, that I believe gets spoken of the least because you can't sell that. You sell pretty pictures. You sell, as I said, quaint European towns, nice rivers, valleys, mountains, beaches, baguettes, cafes with random accordion music playing in the background. You get all these things. However, the good stuff comes from you slowly gelling with your community, with your location, your work, and what you give to that community. And it's a great feeling. And I hope you all get to experience it. And if this is your first time listening to us, we do have a TEFL course. It's called TEFLPros. You can find it at www.TEFLPros.com. You can sign up for that, have a one-on-one call with myself and our course director, Elaine. She's wonderful. And we'll talk a little bit more about this. We'll figure out what you're trying to get out of an English teaching certificate. Whether you want to work online, supplement your income, whether you want to go out and about, explore this big blue rock we're on, see what all's out there to be seen. And either way, though, whatever it is, I do wish you the best in that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. You can reach me at david@TEFLPros.com. You can also check out our webpage, send me a message through the webpage. I'm there as well. And I'm looking forward to getting these Fridays back up and running. I think, I should be here for this next Friday. I'll leave a note at the community center what's going on. I know I'm going to be traveling next weekend again. February is just a very travel-heavy month. But I should have something up for us for the Friday Forum. So until then, have a wonderful weekend. Go out, explore, do something that brings joy to you and those around you. It's the best feeling in the world. And I hope to talk to you soon, guys. Happy Friday. Cheers.